Hi guys, today's December 12th. I have a lot to cover. I decided I'm not going to go live after all. I'm just going to do a video because I have paper scattered all over the floor and my dog's in here, so no distractions. Today's 12/12, obviously. First thing first, what I wanted to state was this, that on... If anybody has not seen Leave the World Behind, again, I watched it twice. One with my husband and I. Okay, the 8th that came out, which was on Hanukkah. The 9th, my husband and I watched it. And the 10th, I watched it, half of it with my kids. And the 11th, we finished it. Okay, why is that such a big deal? Well, because of COP28. But, not only that, but if you looked at the beginning of the movie, they are by a Christmas tree. And you look down at the bottom, you see a sticker that says 12. On the other side, it says 22. That would be the day after Christmas. Why else am I saying this? Because in the movie, it talks about a cyber attack. It talks about the animals migrating to different locations, like the deer and stuff. Well, guess what? The deer was at the Statue of Liberty. I don't care who wants to sit there and say that, well, it's fake or animated. It's the fact that the movie just came out, and then the 11th, it happens. And then also on Mount Rushmore. Like, come on. This. And then U.S. under attack by China, by hackers, and it says that World War III is on. And then today, on the UN website, it stated, right on the headlines, that immediate humanitarian ceasefire, peace and security, 12/23. And it's in the headline, 153 countries voted in, like the fish, and in favor, 10 was against, and 23 abstained. Okay, and they are invoking Article 377. I'm going to read you this information because it's important. The important part of Resolution 377A is Section A, which states that where the Security Council, because of lack of unanimity of the permanent members, fails to exercise its primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security, the General Assembly shall seize itself of the matter. Okay, we will deliver an ambitious result on the 12th of December. Mahi, Awi, whatever, Suwadi, COP28 Director General outlines the progress achieved to date. Okay, climate actions, 7 years to go. All right, let me keep reading. This is of utterance importance. So the UN General Assembly holds the emergency session on Tuesday in New York. Egypt and Mauritius have invoked the UN resolution of 377 Uniting for Peace, which allows the UN body to take action when the UNSC fails to exercise its responsibility to maintain international peace and security, happening on the last day of COP28, which is today, which is the final day in Dubai, calling for a 7-year agreement including peace and security. So the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 377A, the Uniting for Peace resolution, states that in cases where the Security Council, because of lack of, I just read you that, the USA was the sole veto, no vote on Friday. Okay, and they want to overturn the U.S. veto and get their way to bring about a ceasefire in Gaza. This can also include the use of armed forces when necessary in order to maintain or restore international security and peace. Now, Israel will never go for a two-state solution, will they? But they said that if Netanyahu does not have this completed, that if he does not have this two-state solution done, they will force it by the end of this year. Thanksgiving. Winter starts the 21st, and we also have the 22nd, is the day after, like 12/22, what I was saying. Okay, there is something else I wanted to talk about. Okay, yeah, sorry. We're in the middle of Hanukkah. Tomorrow we have the Orneid meteor shower, 13th and 14th, and they are going to be announcing what they talked about and everything by the 13th, 14th, like I said, and then they're going to announce it worldwide on the 24th. This is huge, Huge. Now, I'm just going to ramble this out there to clarify. I have personally talked to people on Messenger, and I don't think people are processing what I'm saying. I'm going to try and explain this one last time, and I will never bring it up again. There is no spot in the Bible where it states that we, as the bride of Christ, leave before the signing of this agreement. Okay? I am going to state that it also says we are spared from wrath and the trial that shall come upon the whole entire world. Okay, now, you cannot debunk what Scripture says, okay? For in 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. It didn't say us. Now, there I have a point to why I'm saying all this, okay? And then I'm going to go up to verse 1. It says, but concerning the times and the seasons, brethren, us, you have no need that I should write to you. For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. A thief comes to steal, okay? Steal us away from wrath. There are so many people stating that the Antichrist signs this. I want you to understand something. The Antichrist himself does not get 7 years to rule. I'm just stating that. He does not get 3.5 years of peace and then another 3.5 years. That's not biblical. He gets his 42 months to rule. Okay, and that's even in Revelation chapter 12. Okay, and the reason that is important is because when he steps up, that is Satan's wrath. Okay, so during this time of that, from the signing, okay, even though it's the 7-year covenant, okay, you have to understand that this time is to bring in the new world order. People will still be buy, sell, trade, marrying, and given unto marriage even during these times. Children will still be born. That is why in Matthew 24, Luke 12, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or is it Luke 21? Okay, and Mark 13, where it says, okay, all the same thing, that woe to those who give suck in those days, for such days, for there shall come upon them days that have never been before. Okay, so this is very serious crunch time is what I'm saying. I also don't want you guys to sit there and say, oh, she doesn't believe in the rapture. I absolutely do. But I'm telling you, God also told us to prepare. And I'm not instilling fear. I'm instilling wisdom. There's a difference. Okay, so God told us to prepare. He prepares people for the winter. He prepared Moses' family for a famine, right? Or Joseph. For the family, there was 7 years of good and 7 years of bad. Okay, so they prepped for that. The bride of Christ, I am looking every single day. He is going to come, and sudden destruction is going to happen. I believe Jesus is coming back any day. But I'm also stating that if he does not come back this year, be prepared and know that he is coming and that we will be here until we get taken out of the way from wrath. We're not spared from tribulation and trials. Okay, so I hope that clarified it. The Great Tribulation is not 7 years. It is from start to finish, 1,335 days. I believe today started the 2,300 days of Daniel 8. That is what I believe. And I've showed you that in my last few videos, how it leads up into 2030, which is 7 years. But it's not the whole 7 years of Satan. Satan gets 1,260 days. And then from the end of the 1,260 days to 1,335 is the wrath of God. Okay, so that is what I am stating. We are at the ending of the beginning of sorrows. Okay, so we obviously see all these events and the seasons that we are in for these things that's coming. Okay, so my whole point, the Statue of Liberty, okay, already had these animals. And then we just had the U.S. hackers, or the Chinese hackers, same as in the movie. Now, COP28 ends today, and the peak is tomorrow. And there was a reel talking about the 15th for banks closing. And you remember when they say that the banks are going to close on a Friday after hours, and mass pandemonium would come Saturday because no one would have access to their money. Wouldn't it be ironic if that actually happened? The meteor shower, peace and security, COP28, and in the midst of this, Hanukkah. This isn't a coincidence. God is clearly giving us signs for us to look for, okay, of his return. I absolutely do believe that Jesus is coming back any day. Now, having said that, I'm also going to state this. Okay, do not be discouraged. That's all I'm saying. Stop setting dates. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that it's sinful. I'm saying for a lot of people have been obsessed with the rapture. So obsessed that they've made it their God. I know God tells us to watch. That you guys are watching so hard for the rapture and trying to find any date to explain why it didn't happen. Instead of going out, bringing souls to Christ. That is our main goal of being here. It doesn't matter if we're here for 100 more years, which we're not going to be. But what I'm saying is, this is the hard reality. People want their ears tickled. They want to believe everything is sunshine and rainbows. And unfortunately, it's not. Look what happened in the tornadoes in Tennessee. People lost their lives. That's unexpected. They don't get weather like that. I mean, you see the clouds, the formation. We've got the geomagnetic storms, the big hole in the sun. I mean, we've got this pandemic happening. And my sister, Sarah. She's 38 weeks. She's due on Christmas, the Christmas baby. They believe she's going early. Her blood pressure's through the sky roof. Okay. My sister-in-law's 28 weeks pregnant. She's getting ready to have her baby. And they are thinking that she might not make it to Christmas, or she'll be having the baby early. It's a boy. My sister's having a girl. I've already told you the name, how biblical it is. Okay? All around the same timing. Come on. Guys, these are signs. I am watching and waiting, and I got the Holy Spirit all over me, guys. Please don't sit there and say, oh my gosh, Mary Ann, she's no longer believing Jesus is coming back. She's saying we're going to go through the tribulation. The tribulation is only the time what I said. It starts with the Antichrist and ends with Jesus Christ. Does that make sense? There you go. So, I don't even know where else to begin. Yes, I do. Right here. So World War Code 68. World War I started July 28th, 1914. So 7 plus 28 plus 19 plus 14 equals 68. Okay, World War II started September 1st, 1939. If you add the 9, the 1, the 19, the 39, you get 68. Now, Russian invasion of Ukraine began February 24th, 2022. If you add those numbers, 20, 24, 20, plus 22, it gets you 68. Will World War III begin on December 13th? 12 plus 13 plus 20 plus 23 is 68. Just stating. I don't know. All I know is I am watching every single day like you. But I'm also not putting God in a box. And actually, I am 50-50 on it all. I'm not 100% sold on one or the other, and the reason being is because God called me to prep. He called me to prepare. Okay? And I see everybody's side. I see a pre-trib, a mid-trib, and a post-trib. Well, not really a post-trib, but I see the pre-wrath side. I see different things, and not one person, not you, not me, not one person on this planet, no matter how much evidence we have showed, has been correct of the rapture. Not one. And I don't think none of us are going to be. I just know we are to be on high alert like never before. And this that I have showed you and told you, these are our signs to hightail and book it. We might be here to see stuff. We might not. You can't guarantee that we won't be. I can't guarantee we will be. That's how it is. So now I'm getting ready to tell you a dream I had this morning, but I'm going to wait on that because this other stuff's pretty important. All right, so that's going to go with this one. So on the New York Post, this blew my ever-loving mind. Also, with the movie. Guess this came out 20 hours ago. What? President Biden just pledged to shut down 60% of America's electric power. I'm going to read a lot of this. The Biden administration made two virtue signaling proclamations at last week's COP conference in Dubai that it says will help save the planet from climate change. The policies aren't likely to change the planet's temperature by even 1/10 of a degree, but they might just destroy the 21st American industrial economy as we know it. Okay, first team Biden announced it would stop production of all new coal plants in the U.S. This comes from the heels of President Biden's Environmental Protection Agency says this year it would impose new power plant emissions regulations that are virtually impossible for coal plants to comply with. The bottom line, no more coal, period. But the White House just getting started. Vice President Kamala Harris trumpeted the next day new rules to sharply reduce methane from the oil and natural gas industry. The administration calls methane a super pollutant that it wants to eliminate because it's many times more potent than carbon dioxide. But methane is effectively a hydrocarbon that comes from natural gas. Eliminating methane is a de facto ban on natural gas power plants. Here's the most sinister part of the story that no one in the Biden administration is telling you. Eradicating coal and natural gas plants will ravage America's electric power capacity. Now, when that happens, you have to understand, they have total control. And EMP will be more than likely. Why do you think they want everything to go electric? Boom, just like off the movie. So they can control it. Drop of the dime. So I'm going to read you a little more and then I'm going to be done because this is like 10 pages. These regulations will cause rolling blackouts and brownouts across the country, much like we've already seen in California, America's forerunner of radical anti-fossil fuel policies. The lights will go out intermittently, and home heating in the winter and air conditioning in the summer will have to be turned off or rationed. Without gas or coal plants, hospitals, schools, the internet, construction projects, factories will be routinely shut down when unreliable alternative energy sources like wind and solar power just aren't delivering enough juice. Upward of 60% of America's electrical power generation will go away and soon. That's where I'm stopping. I will put this article in the description box so you all can read it and watch it. And if you guys want any other pertinent information, I don't post everything on my Facebook because I'm actually trying to shut my Facebook down. But I am going to be putting it on the Lost and the Weary page on my Facebook, or I can private message you. Just let me know that you're a YouTube follower and I will open the message because I do love Messenger. And I have two Facebooks. One is my ministry. The other one is my new ministry. So, I don't use the one that has the God something, whatever it is. So that's the one I wanted to tell you. And with them controlling this, that's also going to be how FEMA camps and stuff, all this stuff gets set up because that is what they want you to do, to comply and comply to them. So the whole point of this whole, like the movie and stuff is when everything starts getting chaotic, it's the American people, it's the people in general that has caused this. We're going to fight amongst ourselves. And if you noticed that it's talking about black and whites again to start a new movement, nation against nation, which is exactly what the Bible says. A nation against nation means in Hebrew, in the Strongs, race against race. Okay. So now I'm going to read you guys also something here which I found extremely interesting and I didn't even put two and two together. Let's just hypothetical, outside the box, debunk the pre-trib theory. Just hypothetically and hear me out. Say we're here until April to the solar eclipse, which is actually on my husband's 37th birthday. Okay, let's just hypothetically say that we are, because that ends the Jewish New Year, begins a new year anyway. Okay, I've said this before. Listen to this, which I found extremely off-the-wall interesting. Okay, this is in Tippecanoe County. I don't live in Tippecanoe County. I live in Benton, but this is for them, the school district, which is around my area. There has been a change to our current school calendar. Friday, April 26, 2024 was scheduled as either a snow makeup day if needed, and if not needed, it was scheduled as a non-attendance day. However, our geographical area is scheduled for a near 100% solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th, with the height of the eclipse occurring during the LSC's dismissal times. The Tippecanoe County Emergency Management Organization has recommended there be no school on the April 8th date for any schools in the Tippecanoe County. This is for two reasons. One, the unexpected number of visitors to our area to view the eclipse possibly making travel unsafe, and two, county emergency organizations are being scheduled to assist with the potential traffic and or other emergencies, leaving emergency sources either unavailable or slow to respond to places like schools. Therefore, LSC Board of Trustees had adjusted this year's calendar to the following. Monday, April 8th will be a non-attendance day. It will not be used to make up a snow day. I just found that, wow, extremely interesting, the date, and out of nowhere. See, my cousin posted that, and what I find ironic about that is she's not really a believer in God or about this. They're really big into science and this other stuff, and I've tried to sit and explain everything to her, but not. But that's why I said, hypothetically, if we are here past this month, hypothetically, guys, then you guys need to take into consideration other people's viewpoints and other reasoning of why things could happen the way that they do. And if we are raptured tonight, tomorrow, or the next day, cha-ching, because I'm ready to fly on out of here. I'll tell you that. I hate this world. This world is a disaster. Okay, and now I wanted to say that I read this comment on Facebook, and my jaw actually dropped. Okay, so I personally don't eat bioengineered food. Okay, I'm big enough. I'm not fat, but I'm muscle. I'm very athletically built. Okay, and so I've been trying to understand, what is it? Like, actually, what is it? Why is it of importance, especially for these last days? Because this is something that dawned on me of reading this. 100% truth. I told my husband that we're eating what we are eating. We're actually starving because of the little nutrition in the food. And we may not even actually see a real famine because they want to keep us sedated or poisoned. Though food will get very expensive, and to acquire it, you will have to follow the rules. Think about this. Once enough people truly have food scarcity, then maybe they will be able to get rid of some of the poisons, and that might feel better. That might open up some people's eyes to the truth. And you know, I never thought about that, but during the FEMA camps and stuff, that's why they got all these bioengineered foods. That's where they're making all the fake foods and stuff. And also why when people die, they're going to be able to feed them to you. Cannibalism in the last days, that's biblical too. Hold on. And very last thing, before I read you my dream I had this morning. Okay, so we read 1 Thessalonians 5:3, right? So now I want to tell you that this goes to Hosea 13:13, and it says, "The sorrows of a woman in childbirth shall come upon him. He is an unwise son, for he shall not stay long where stay long where children are born." Okay, judgment's coming upon them for what they have done. And then Isaiah 13, verses, what was it, 6? No. Pardon me, hold on just a second. Yeah, so it was that, Isaiah 13:6-9. "Wail, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It will come as destruction from the Almighty. Therefore all hands will be limp, every man's heart will melt, and they will be afraid. Pangs and sorrows would take hold of them. They will be in pain as a woman in childbirth. They will be amazed at one another. Their faces will be like flames." That's some powerful stuff, what's going to happen just from saying peace and safety. So what if this meteor shower is just that? We don't know. What if that's their sudden destruction? What about, the stars from the falling from the sky? What if that's a third of the stars? What if this is the Antichrist getting ready to come and, everything's just ramping up? I don't know. But it's so exciting to think about. I am so ready to get out of here. And now, I might need a little help on the stream. I did post it on my Facebook. I had a couple people with interpretations, and then I was praying about it and kind of understood some too. But this is kind of a deep dream. So this, I dreamt that I was ordering food at some restaurant. And this black guy was kind of flirty with me. Seemed something was off with him, and I don't remember what I ordered, but when I received it, I was so disappointed, and I said, hey, this isn't enough to feed me. He said, let me fix it. So when he came back, he gave me extra food. And I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was like a large baguette. Yeah. So anyways, I leave, and so I noticed a lot of higher up men were following me, and I thought it was the black guy because he gave me free food. I thought he was chasing after me, so something was suspicious, so I thought it was because of that, so I started running, and they started chasing after me, and I ran to a red door with a lock and chain. Now, I forgot to put this. The locks were deadbolts, so each door had a deadbolt like this, and then it had a chain that went around like this. I can't explain it, but every door was red. So I go through the first door, and on the opposite, as soon as I shut the door, I was able to lock it, and it had a chain. How the front was, the back was, and it was red. And then I was in an empty area, and there was another red door, identical. Went through it. I went through 3 of them before the men were able to make it through only 3 of the doors. There was 10 doors total, and I went through all 10 of them to finally get in there, and I'm in this big room, and I see this big circular table in the middle, and there was a ton of people, and all of them were dressed in red, and I don't know why, but they said, come sit with us, and I woke up. I believe that this means that the enemy is right at the door. And then right before they are able to come to us to get an arm's grip, we are protected. Okay? Like God is going to protect us. And what I noticed is they got through 3 doors. That was a remainder of 7. There were 7 and 3 is 10. 10 kings, 7 heads, 10 horns. Okay, that's what I received. And the red being the blood of Christ. The chains cannot be broken. Okay, the bond of Christ. And that I was invited at the wedding supper. I don't know, but I know that this dream was so prophetic to these times. And I know that Jesus is coming back. He's coming back any day, and it is so exciting. I cannot wait. I'm on edge, and I feel like I'm living in a movie, and like I can't pause it and I can't stop it. I just have to keep watching it. You know what I mean? So like I can't even explain it. Like abahashakihima mahasta kuma mamachikista kumonenimata upahastike bayasho kuma mamaitika manya toko hasticha pahata konenimachi da mamaichikista kopakinimaya kuwe kamanya da hastukusha pahakamonumosticha kamanya nama tekma hastichka bahostiki mananya machikama hostikuma hastika mananya machiko boostika mananya mache. Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming. His judgment is coming. Something bad is about to happen. They just announced the peace and security. Things are about to ramp up like we've never seen before. If we do not leave, we're in for a real ride. But I'm telling you, we're getting ready to go. I believe that with all of my heart, mind, and soul, and I have the Holy Spirit all over me. I'm about to just jump out of my skin. I can't wake anybody up. I can't talk anymore. I can't express it. Everything that I'm feeling, I'm living that emotion, and that emotion's taken over my words, and I can't even get the words out because all it is emotions. We are feeling the depth and the hastukupa kekibakamaneniachaka takamama chekimaniniete otaka hastukumonenema. We are feeling the deep sorrow, the childbirth. Our bodies are feeling the transformation. We are feeling the birthing process, and I believe that is what it is with my sister getting ready to have her baby. And then my other sister dreamt that Brianna had the baby on the 17th. And she was 17 weeks pregnant. Something's about to happen. I can feel it. Y'all can feel it too. It's so powerful and so strong. War, calamity, crash. The sky is fallen. The new world order, the bahashika mahastikima nanamupubayatecheka the hostichito kamaniniasikama Jumahashikama nanataka desikama deta the kohasta pupabayashikiba hatamananyamachikama who'sepahastikama nanatishiko oh mahachikimanyama oh and we have the sliver of the new moon, and I'm the Isaiah 13:9. Behold, the day of the Lord comes, cruel with both wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. He will destroy its sinners from it. For the stars of heaven and their constellation will not give their light. The sun will be darkened in its going forth, and the moon will not cause its light to shine. I will punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their iniquity. That's all I gotta say. I will see you there in the air. Jesus is coming. It could be within the next 72 hours. And I've seen a lot of people having warnings about 48 and 72 hours. I feel it in my spirit. Something is about to happen.